Welcome back, Filmaholics. My name is Kyle Kendrick, and in this channel you find anything and everything filmmaking. So if you guys want to subscribe to get some more of that, go ahead and do so because I upload every 2 weeks. I changed the schedule, yeah. So if you're returning, that's something new. But yeah, every 2 weeks, there you go. So let's get on with today's video. So today I show you guys how to stabilize your camera or your footage without a gimbal. To start things off, I'm gonna show you guys what you guys need and then 2 different methods. The first one being something very common, and then the second one I kind of coined as my method unless somebody else uses it. I haven't seen anybody else do this, so there's that. But that being said, it might be somebody else's, but it makes sense in my head and that's why I coined it. So there we go. Let's get started on what you need to do both of these methods. The first thing being a camera. You kind of need a camera to record. So there's that. But also a wide lens that really helps with the handheld stabilization due to the fact that, well, you don't notice as many shakes. But if it's like a macro lens or anything that's above like a 35, really, you can kind of see almost every possible shake, even after 24 millimeters. So right now we're gonna be using a 16 millimeter on this APS-C camera lens. So that is a very wide angle in full frame. It almost equalizes to like a 24 millimeter. So there's that. And then the next thing that you want is the camera strap. I personally love Peak Design because of their quick release. It's so easy to put on and, well, take off, even though I just did that in opposite of what I just said. So that is that. And then now 2 optional ones just to add extra weight to the camera is a cage. And then the last thing is going to be a miniature tripod. This will help adding more handles because the cage has many holes, so if you need an extra handle, there you go. So the first method I'm gonna show you guys is again the most commonly used method, and the way to get started on doing so is gonna be just strap up your camera, make sure the cage is on, put a miniature tripod on this side or the side where the grip isn't, and then just put it on your neck, extend as far as possible, and start recording. And just move along like this. Having this right here really helps because you have this grip right here, and then you don't have to kind of hold somewhere awkward and like grip somewhere tight. Now you actually have a handle right here, and now you can do this, whip pans and going down, and also if you walk forward and backwards, as long as you walk correctly and not as shaky steps, it will look fine. So the second method, the method I coined, that's going to be this weird contraption that you see here right now. Well, it'll make sense in a second. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is put your top handle on the top of your camera cage. Now, if you don't have a top handle, which is very common, I use a miniature tripod onto the cage. It works just as well, as you can see. Then what you're gonna want to do is twist this. And now that you have 2 different holes there, you're gonna want to put your hand through this one. Make sure your elbow goes underneath, hook that, and then go through this hole and grab the top handle. Now you have the same system as your neck right here. Instead, it's your elbow. The crisscross is just to help with security and it helps you ease your mind and not losing your camera. But that's just my personal thing. And then all you want to do is add a lot of tension, so extend your arm enough until there's a lot of tension, and now you have a stabilizing elbow, I guess. That's all I could really call it. And you could get either really low creative shots, you could get really high up back to your face, and it's uncomfortable in sometimes, but in the same time you get a lot more shots out of it than just using your neck. If you were just using your neck, then you could only do squats and just get as low as that, or just certain things like that just feels like it's limited. So I like something like this. It's gonna be slightly shakier unless you get used to it like I have. But either way, with both of these methods, you're gonna wanna use warp stabilizer just because it won't be as good as a gimbal. Nothing will ever be as good as a gimbal just because a gimbal is meant to do its job right. Now, we as humans always are in a moment of shaking. We can't stop. So, yeah, that's the only issue there. But that being said, if you don't have a gimbal, this is a good alternate and it will help stabilize your footage. It'll also teach you guys how to walk correctly while you're using a camera, because it's a really weird and strange walk. Only a few people I notice can do it. Just out of like, oh, wow. Yeah, good job, guy. And it's kind of funny when you do see it, but yeah, it's a steady cam walk basically. There's a lot of videos on how to do it, and it's just this ninja walk where you don't bounce at all, you just glide. And I hope those methods helped you guys out. If they did, like and subscribe. Also, if you guys want to check out the gear I used to make this video, go ahead and check the description down below. There's gonna be links there. There's gonna be no extra cost to you guys, but it will help out the channel if you do purchase it. And also, if you guys want to check out more tips and tricks and how-tos and whatnots, go ahead and check this playlist right over here. Lastly, don't forget to dream on.